Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cookiecast. Today on Cookiecast, it's the Darkest Timeline podcast, so you're stuck with me for the day. I'm sure there'll be some games and movies chat, maybe a bit of talk about going to the gym, and who knows, there might be a bit of a rant. So here we go, this is Cookiecast, the Darkest Timeline podcast. Right then. Ooh, old bones. Let's get this party started. Hello there. It is me, Cookie. You're joining me today on Cookiecast, the Darkest Timeline podcast. I'm your host, Cookie. Same deal as always. There's nobody else here. It's just me. It's still summer. So the window is open, and that brings with it all the sounds of summer. So I'm pretty sure multiple people are cutting the grass by the sounds of it. I'm working on the principle that A, it's really warm in here, so I need the window open, and B, that can't last forever. So yeah, you might be able to hear people cutting the grass. Like I say, still summer. Few weeks left of summer still. What is the weather saying? Because at one point it was saying, yeah, well, we definitely don't live there. Why do you think that I'm there? Right, apparently it's going to be sunny for the next hour. Yeah, probably agree with that. And then the temperature's going to drop over the course of the evening. Sunny in the morning, rain in the afternoon. Just about right. Sunny in the morning, rain in the afternoon on Wednesday. Cool. Okay. So, it is Monday. Podcast day for me and you. Let's see what's on the list. I haven't got loads of stuff this week. I'm not going to drag on. It's definitely a coffee week, so you get to listen to me slurp through a cup of coffee. Got a juice. I've already had an energy drink today. I don't know if it's a Monday thing or if it's a result of the weekend or what. Tired today. That seems to be a theme on a Monday at the moment. Not sure why. Right. So, first thing on the list, I've written $1 billion movies. So there seems to be like a thing at the moment that you haven't made a movie unless it's made $1 billion. And obviously your likes of your Avengers, that makes $1 billion with its eyes closed. Obviously Avengers Endgame is now the highest grossing movie of all time. Personally, I don't agree that should be the case. Out of those collections of movies, Infinity War was by far the better film, in my opinion. But I think it's just the way that was sort of going. So for Endgame to be the highest grossing movie, so be it. So yeah, when they go Avengers made $1 billion, you go, that's expected. That is, if a Marvel film didn't make $1 billion, there's probably something wrong. I imagine there's probably going to come a time where that was probably happening. I think the superhero fatigue is well and truly setting in. I imagine over the course of the next 10 years or so, you'll see a decline in superhero movies, just purely because, when they announce, in that year there's going to be 3, 4, 5 superhero movies, it's a bit like, that's too much. But that's not what I'm talking about. It is what I'm talking about, but it isn't. It seems these days that if you haven't made $1 billion, you might as well not have bothered. Which is fine, and I know a lot of these movies cost a lot of money. I imagine things like Infinity War and Endgame, the budget for the actors alone will have been many, many hundreds of millions. So there's that. So to make $1 billion is kind of a necessity these days. There's two things I saw recently that made me sort of think, is this just it now? One was I saw that The Lion King, the new Disney live action remake of The Lion King, made $1 billion. It's not surprising. The Lion King, the original Lion King, the animated one, is a massive film. I think it was like, back in its day, it was a huge thing. So it kind of goes hand in hand that the new one would make $1 billion. I know a few people have been to see it. I personally haven't seen it. The original was never one that was a big one for me, but it is for other people, and that's fine. I can't say I was rushing out to see the remake of The Lion King, but it made $1 billion in what seemed like a really short space of time. So there was that, and I was like, that film's made $1 billion really quickly. So I was like, seems strange. Then I heard something else that was the live action remake of Aladdin had also made $1 billion. Now then, before I go any further, I'm going to have to check. Because part of me is like, I'm really not sure about this. I'm sure I saw it. How much did Aladdin make? The 92. No. Okay. So, in America, it had made $214.9 million. And domestically, that is domestically, and worldwide, $508 million worldwide. Yeah, so like $508 million seems to be the... No, because it says it there. Box office, 1.011 billion. Yeah, there's a multitude of different answers there. The top answer seems to be incorrect. So I did see that right. So, Aladdin live action remake was reported to have made $1 billion. So I was like, well, hang on a minute. Pretty sure when that film came out, it came out to a real mix of reviews. I seem to remember seeing that The Lion King was getting fairly positive reviews. I think it's basically a shot, or not a shot-for-shot remake, but pretty much a shot-for-shot remake. So if the original did well, I imagine the new one would follow suit and do well. Other than the fact that, people have seen it. The animated one will be precious to certain people, but then again, there's a new generation of children. I imagine people who enjoyed it as a child will be taking their children to see it. But Aladdin didn't get great reviews. I know that Will Smith took a lot of criticism for his role in that film. I've seen a couple of clips of him in that film, and yeah, it's one of those. I don't mind Will Smith. Quite like him as an actor. Quite like him. He seems like quite a decent person. Every now and then he seems a little off kilter, but seems a decent enough guy. He's done a lot of films that I very much enjoyed. So that's that. But I do wonder how many zeros were on the check that Disney brought in for that one, because it did not feel like the right role for him. And I think, from what I remember, that seemed to be what the reviews seemed to say. I know he took a little bit of flack for it. There was something about it had been getting bad reviews and he was quite down about it, and I think his wife had to take him to the cinema so that he could go and enjoy the film or something. There was something about it. So a film that's not had great reviews, sounds like it's had a few hiccups here and there with bad press and stuff, makes $1 billion. $1 billion is a lot of money. It's not as much money these days. I saw something recently that I think Disney paid $4.2 billion for Marvel. When they bought Marvel, it cost $4.2 billion. Since they've bought Marvel, they have made over $18 billion from Marvel movies. As far as investments go, that's a decent sized investment. But then, we say that $18 billion, and I think nowadays we don't really think or register or know how much money that actually is. So a movie makes $1 billion and we just brush it off, but that's a lot of money. And I was like, is this just a thing now? Is the next thing going to be this movie made $2 billion? What will the next Avengers film look like? What will the next big Marvel franchise look like? Will there be another franchise that comes out that dwarfs Marvel and Disney and things like that? DC seem to be stumbling along and starting to get things into gear. I know they seem to be putting the right people in the right places. Personally, I think I've discussed it on a podcast before, but I saw Captain Marvel, Endgame and Shazam all at the cinema, all in the space of 24 hours. I saw Captain Marvel like the Thursday night, and then on the Friday me and Sam went to watch Endgame and Shazam, or Shazam and Endgame should I say. And of those three films, Shazam was hands down the best of the three, by far. I've watched Shazam 3 or 4 times since I saw it at the cinema. It comes out on Blu-ray and 4K and stuff like that a week today, and I'm like, I need it. I thoroughly enjoyed that film. Captain Marvel was very meh, and I ended up walking away from Endgame with more issues than I could shake a stick at. Infinity War is one of my favourite films. I could happily watch that. Although, since I've seen Endgame, I haven't watched Infinity War. I feel that Endgame has tarnished Infinity War for me. Because I was like, Infinity War is setting up for this huge thing, this massive... Infinity War to me was just this monumental movie. It brought all of these characters together and was setting the scene for something fantastic. And then we got Endgame, and well, it's 3 hours and 3 minutes long. It's split into 3, so the first hour of that movie is everyone's sad the movie. I'm not sure if we needed that. It's set X amount of time later. I don't want to, spoilers if you haven't seen it. But by now, that's up to you. It's set X amount of time later, and nothing has advanced in any way, shape, or form. The first hour of that film is sad the movie. the second hour of that film, in fact, it's not even the second hour, it's the second hour and a half. The next hour and a half of that film is, again, I don't want to spoil anything, so anybody who's seen it will understand, anybody who hasn't, I don't know, but Bank Job, the movie. And that is where a lot of the issues start creeping in. And then the last half an hour is, let's fight generic purple bad guy. Because they just... The whole Thanos thing. Thanos was a fantastic bad guy in Infinity War. And in Endgame, it was big purple bad guy. They just wasted that opportunity to have a great villain. Anyway, I'm not here to keep harping on about my issues with Endgame. I have issues with Endgame if you haven't worked that one out. So what is the next franchise going to be? What is the next big thing going to be? Is it going to be a $2 billion movie? And what might that look like? Here's the thing, though. I was like, well, is a $1 billion movie really that big a deal? Now, I know 2 minutes ago I'm like, it's such a huge deal. $1 billion is a lot of money. That's not what I mean. It's like, surely by inflation, cinema tickets will cost more now than they did X number of years ago. You never hear adjusting for inflation. So something like Titanic, or for example in Asia, Spirited Away, or something like that, if you adjust for inflation, what would they be making now? We judge, we judge Endgame on today's standards, highest grossing movie. It beat Avatar. There was this whole thing about they re-released it to beat Avatar. Avatar was the number one grossing movie. Let me just quickly have a look. Avatar. 10 years ago that film came out. Anybody want to guess what a cinema ticket cost 10 years ago? You can go to the View these days for a £5. But that's not always been the case. Cinema tickets were very expensive. Part of the reason that I didn't go. There's cinemas in York where the tickets are expensive. 10 years ago, how much would that same ticket have been? So, is it not just inflation? Is a $1 billion movie a $1 billion movie purely because we charge more for cinema tickets? It was just these weird these 2 or 3 things that came up recently that I was like, oh, that film made $1 billion. Cool, that seemed really quick. That film made $1 billion. That seems very strange because it didn't get very good reviews. So that seems strange to me. And then the fact that I was like, well, hang on a minute. Is it not just because we charge more for cinema tickets these days? Anyway, something to ponder for a Monday or whenever it is you're listening to this. Okay, let's have a look at the list. Let's keep up with the movies theme. As you know by now, it's no secret. I tried to keep it a secret, but it's no secret. I've been going to the gym. And I've been running. The way to get through that is to stick a movie on. I've found that a good distraction is a film that I've not seen. But because I'm not watching it with sound, it needs to be a film that I haven't seen, but that I'm not... I must sit down and watch this with surround sound on the big TV. As you know, I've watched Mile 22, which in hindsight, I should have sat down on the big TV with that because I worked on the principle that was going to be a bad film and it turned out not to be. I thoroughly enjoyed it. American Made, that was perfect. Film that I wanted to see, but I had issues with it, so it was fine to put on in the gym. I watched Van Helsing. I mean, Jesus. Whew. Wish I hadn't bothered. And I said that at the time. So, went to the gym the other night. I'm like, right, I'm going to do a run. Go on the treadmill. Oh, I haven't got a film to watch. Okay, what am I watching? Scroll through, as I do. I'm like, oh, there's a film I've never seen. I can't remember whether it was supposed to be very good, but I haven't seen it. But I've seen, this could be the third or even the fourth film in this franchise. So the film is Riddick. Now, I haven't watched it all. I've watched the start. I've watched the first half an hour, let's say. And so far, all I can think is that it's just Vin Diesel, the movie. I know there's been some stuff recently, like off the back of the Fast and the Furious franchise, there have been some issues. I know The Rock and Vin Diesel didn't get on. I know the reasons that The Rock said that he didn't get on with Vin Diesel. I think he was suggesting he was a bit of a diva, didn't turn up on set on time, things like that. I know there's been stuff said about Vin Diesel. I think sometimes people perceive him to be a little bit crazy. Only a little bit, not like crazy. But yeah, started watching Riddick and was like, the hell is this film? Again, don't know if it's better with sound. Who knows? It does feel a little, is this Vin Diesel the movie? Like there's been a smattering of other actors, none of which I recognise, in this film so far. And I vaguely know what's going on. Obviously it's one of those. I'll go back, I'll continue watching. I mean, I watched freaking Van Helsing, and it's certainly not that bad, although it does just seem to be Vin Diesel being Vin Diesel. So yeah, I'll let you know how that goes. I can't really say, I don't want to say too much because I might go back and put it on and it might be like, oh my god, the first half an hour was really deceptive, this was a great film. Or it could be, oh my god, the first half hour was really deceptive, it was downhill from there. I'll keep you posted on that one. Because I've been, I'm trying to manage time a little bit better, I'm trying to make some changes here and there, I'm trying to make stuff better. I've had this huge pile of films that I hadn't watched. I got a load of films for my birthday, and just a growing pile of films. I had a list of films that I wanted to watch. I really fancy watching the Dark Knight trilogy, because I've seen a few videos recently. One was about Batman Begins, one was about the Dark Knight, like Heath Ledger and stuff. I'm not sure if it's been some kind of anniversary. Seems to be a lot of Heath Ledger stuff around at the moment. I don't know if it's like an anniversary of his death or an anniversary of the film or something. Can't say. But I have seen a lot recently and it has made me want to watch those films. I don't know if I talked about Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. One of those things that I got it as a gift. It was a present. Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, animated DC movie. I was like, yeah, I like Batman. I used to be a massive Turtles fan back in the 90s. So I was like, yeah, I'll give this a whirl. It's good. It's enjoyable. I don't know if I talked about it, so I don't know if I'm covering all ground. I enjoyed it. It was DC goodness. One DC film that I am very looking forward to, other than Shazam, weirdly enough, comes out on the same day, and there's another DC animated movie, is Batman Hush. I know that Hush was a big Batman story. It's one that I've read bits of, and Hush has appeared in various games I've played. Not sure if there's mention of Hush in one of the Arkham games. But I've seen bits. Interesting character, and all the trailers I've seen for Hush looks really good. Superman seems to be in it. But yeah, looks good. I don't often go out of my way to get the DC animated stuff unless it's something that I really like the look of. I recently got there was a double Not a double, it was like 2 films released. The Death of Superman, they've redone The Death of Superman, and then they've done a second film that goes with it, The Reign of the Supermen, which goes back to the points in the comics where Superman died. And then there was no Superman comics for like 6 months, and then they released 4 different Superman comics. One was Steel, one was Cyborg Superman, one was, I don't know if it's called like the Eradicator or something, and another one which escapes me right now. They did 2 animated movies. I got those. They were enjoyable. I was a bit like money for old rope because they did Superman Doomsday, which was a whole film which did it all in one. So it kind of felt a little bit like that, but still got it. Watched it, enjoyed it, and watched it again. Superboy, that's the other one, because he's a clone. Spoilers. So yeah, I watched Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. A little bit of nostalgia. It was good. I enjoyed it. So, take from this what you will. But I watched yesterday. I had a bit of time to kill. I'll explain why in a bit. But I looked in the pile of stuff I had to watch. And I was like, let's get this watched. Sometimes I have things and I'm a bit like, let's just get it watched. Other times I have stuff and I'm like, I'm going to save that because I'm looking forward to watching that. For, again, a gift, I got the Lego movie, the Lego Movie 2. It's got a big name, it's got a full name. I can see it from here, but I can't quite see the title. The second Lego movie. I got the first one because I thought it would be entertaining. It wasn't great. I've seen it twice. Me and Leanne watched it the first time. She thought it was awful. Refused to watch it again. I've seen it again. It wasn't great. Then they released Lego Batman, which was reviewed to be not only the best Lego movie, but one of the best Batman movies. Being a big Batman fan, I was like, let's do this. They were right. It is one of the best Batman films ever made. It's great. So that sort of swung me back towards maybe the second Lego movie would be alright. I was like, screw it, let's put it on. Let's watch it. Watched it. It seemed long for for something that's aimed at kids. It did seem long. I think it was scratching the surface of 2 hours. But I can say one of those rare occasions where the sequel was probably better than the first one. I think that the second Lego movie was better than the first. I enjoyed it. It was good. It's one of those. I don't want to spoil it because there's like, I don't know how much I can say about it. There's some good, like a lot of these films these days, like anything that's made for kids, a lot of the humour that's in it is done that will either transcend children and parents or adults, or they'll put the odd joke in that's just for the adults. There was a few bits like that in it. Some of it was a bit strange in the sense that they live in this Lego world, but the Lego world is just like a Lego city that's been built in the real world, and there's a world outside of their world, but there's a bit where he goes to find his friends, so he leaves like the Lego city and goes like out into what is essentially like the staircase, like the city's built in the basement of this house. But yeah, I'm like, well, he's like going through space and stuff. It was a little bit weird, that stuff. And yeah, there's stuff when they're not in the Lego city, they're like just proper, they're just normal Lego pieces. They're just kids' toys. So yeah, that's sort of, I'm not sure how that really works, but it was what it was. And like I say, I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed the first one. So, yeah. So, getting back to watching movies, which is cool. I've been saving a couple of things that I've got. And like I say, I'm sort of putting together a list of films that I just want to watch. Batman trilogy, the Chris Nolan, the Dark Knight trilogy. What else do I fancy? I really fancy watching Casino. Goodfellas and things like that. I fancy doing the older the gangster movies again. Sort of toyed with the idea of watching the Matrix movies, but the issue with that is once you've seen the first one, you kind of feel like you have to watch the other two, and it really is downhill. What else was on my list? Something I really fancied watching. It's usually The Thing when it's that, but I can't say it was The Thing this time around. Anyway, not important right now. I'll let you know if I watch any of those films. So, we've done movies. Let's talk TV. And obviously, in this day and age, TV isn't TV. It's streaming stuff. I've been watching Netflix for movies. Don't think there was anything. I went through the thing with season 2 of Happy. I was disappointed about that. I managed 2 episodes and was like, no, definitely didn't need another series. I'm out. I would say exact same thing as what happened with the Shooter TV series. Watched the first 2 episodes of the second series. Was like, nope, don't need this. So, saw a trailer for a TV series that was coming out and was coming onto Amazon Prime. I do like Amazon Prime because for all of the stuff that they put on there, every now and then there's a good one. Obviously, we've had Good Omens, which was great. I loved me some American Gods for all its flaws. It's good. So on and so forth. I like me some Amazon Prime. Jim Carner. I'm just going to start listing stuff that I enjoyed on Amazon Prime now. Hand to God. So, I saw a trailer a little while ago for a TV series that was coming onto Amazon Prime. I'm like, cool, that looks like my kind of thing. Comic book, superheroes, by now you probably know, it's The Boys. So, The Boys has got Carl Urban in, of Judge Dredd, Ragnarok, other things. Was he in the Doom film? I think he was in Doom as the guy, as Doom guy. Got Carl Urban in. The other main guy, can't say I recognise. Simon Pegg was in it, doing an American accent. Just, no. The woman who runs the company in it, this is kind of spoilers, I'm just setting it up. The woman that runs the company is the Marty McFly's girlfriend in Back to the Future 2 and 3. She has aged well. I do keep looking at her going, have you had any surgery? And I'm not 100% sure. She's looking good. If she hasn't had surgery, she's looking even better. There was a guy who was in one of the programs that Leanne watched. When I looked him up, he was in one of those things, OC, Hills, County, whatever. Trying to think who else has been in it. Anyway, there's people in it. If you haven't seen a trailer, check out a trailer. If you haven't started watching it, I heartily recommend it. I've only watched the first 2 episodes. One of the things about these series is they're like, oh, we want you to watch, we want you to watch it, but each episode's like an hour long. And I'm like, need to really budget some time for that. Because, if you watch 2 episodes, then you could have watched a movie. And like I say, I'm trying to watch a few more films. So I have to know that I've got that time to set aside to watch an episode. Another thing I'm trying to do when I'm watching movies, when I'm watching like these shows and stuff that I'm actually excited about, stuff I actually want to watch. I'm putting my phone down. Don't pick it up. Don't touch it. Like say, every now and then you're like, oh man, what was that guy in? I'll just quickly IMDb, which, like I say, very quickly IMDb it and then put the phone down. Again, it's another thing that I'm trying to change my phone usage. I had the this is how much you've used your phone this week, and it told me that I was using it for 3 hours a day, and I was like, that is down 8% from last week. Used it 2 hours and 58 minutes per day on average. I was like, that's disgusting. So I've gone back to reading. I'm trying to finish a book at the moment. That's been alright. It's part of a series I've been reading for a while. And then trying to do less social media, less of that stuff. Obviously still play Lemmings, but you know, that's a must. So anyway, The Boys. Premise being is that there's superheroes in the world. That's just taken as a given. There's a company that's kind of like a talent agency for superheroes. There's a team called the Seven. One of them retires, so there's a new member of the Seven, but she seems to be having second thoughts. Like I say, I've only watched 2 episodes. And a guy loses his girlfriend in a superhero related accident. That's one of those. It's in the trailer. If you haven't seen it, watch it. So then Carl Urban turns up and he's like, with his very British accent, I can help you sort that out, mate, sort of thing. Which is fine. So he sort of says that he sort of punishes superheroes when they've done wrong. And that's the premise of it. They set out on this thing. I don't know whether the intention is to take revenge on all superheroes or what. The main guy, the main superhero in this group called the Seven, is a guy called Homelander. Basically Superman, but dressed in a very Stars and Stripes costume. Clearly is a little bit unhinged. Which is, again, I really look forward to Brightburn, because I love it when they take a story and they take a different take on that story. So Brightburn is a horror film that works on the principle of what if Superman was the bad guy. And it's like Superman as a child. It's not actually Superman, but it's a child that has exactly the same powers as Superman. Comes to Earth in the same way, etc., etc., but is the bad guy. And how terrifying that would be. Didn't see it at the cinema. I can't do horror at the cinema. So I'm waiting for that on Blu-ray. Very much looking forward to that. It's got... what's her name? 1 second. This is the issue I have at the moment. The brain is not working. This is the thing, because I'll go to the Lego Movie 2, Elizabeth Banks. Brightburn has got Elizabeth Banks playing the mum character, like the Martha Kent character. So that'll be quite interesting. I really like her. I'm very entertained by her. From like, you know, Zack and Miri and stuff like that. I feel like I'm in a real muddle. I feel like I'm going at 100 miles an hour. What was I saying? Brightburn. But that's not what I was talking about. The Boys. The head honcho guy, the main superhero. He's got all of Superman's powers, but he seems to be a little bit unhinged. 2 episodes. So I've watched 2 hours of The Boys. Very enjoyable. I'm probably going to watch an episode literally after finishing this. So it's that sort of thing. I look forward to putting it on. I enjoy it. Which it's another one of those people. It does seem to be stuff that's missing in this day and age. I watched Tin Star. Everyone raved about Tin Star. and I watched, I think they're half-hour episodes. I watched like 3 or 4 and was like, can't watch this anymore. Because to me it just seemed hugely predictable. Like they'd show you a clip at the beginning of the episode of something and I'd be like, I can tell you exactly what's happened there. And then the end of the episode comes round and I'd be right. I'm like, is that what we want from our TV? So yeah, just bailed on that series. So yeah, very hungry for good TV, for good films and stuff. And brings me nicely to games. Excuse the slurping. Like I said, definitely a coffee evening. Right. I've only played one game. I've already mentioned this to you, so it's going to come as no surprise what that game is. I'm still playing Watch Dogs 2 for my sins. Yeah, I mean, there was a point where I was like, oh, maybe I was wrong about this game. There was a point where it got better. I was like, oh, maybe I remember this from the first time I played it. Was there a thing where I was playing it and I thought it was rubbish and then it got better? And it did. It got slightly better. And that lasted for a short amount of time. I think I'm getting towards the back end of it. Kind of one of those, I'll be glad when it's finished, which, that surely is not a good sign, playing a game. I have thought about, because I've got a couple of other things that I could be playing. I'm partway through Ghost Recon Wildlands, so I could go back to that. I keep threatening to delete my Forza Horizon 4 save so I can start that from the beginning, but I kind of don't want to lose the cars. I was playing Spider-Man, I was playing Ace Combat, I want to go back to Surviving Mars, I've got World War Z. So that's a lot of games that I could be playing rather than wasting my time with a game that I'm not overly enjoying. It's just such a mess of a game. That game could have been better. Easily. With minute changes, that game could have been better. It really is baffling how they went from the first one to that one. Definitely a just give us more of the same situation. But anyway, there is another one coming out. I don't know what that's going to be like. I haven't really seen much. I've seen like the odd trailer here and there, and it's like, I don't know what you're showing me, so I don't know what this is supposed to be. Whatever. I was having a conversation today saying like there aren't any games out at the moment. But there are things coming. Of the things that are coming out, we've got Borderlands 3 coming. We've got Ghost Recon Breakpoint. There's a couple of Switch games coming out that I'm kind of looking forward to. But of those games that are coming out, I'm like, Breakpoint, no idea whether I'm going to like that game. Everything I've heard, or a lot of what I've heard, says no. Borderlands 3. Oh, Borderlands 3. Alright, you've got 4 billion guns in your game. Okay, cool, but only 4 of them are going to be any good, because that's how Borderlands is. Every gun you pick up is for a level lower than what you are, and the perks for the gun are nowhere near as good as the one you're carrying. Cool, I get to play Borderlands again. I loved the first one, and I loved the second one. But when you go back and play them again, it's just a chore of a game. Oh, I've picked up a gun. Oh, it's rubbish. Wonderful. What the fuck do I do with this now? I'll make a decision on Watch Dogs. Like I say, it's a bit of a shame to be playing a game that's not great when there's other stuff I could and would want to be playing. So yeah. That's the only game I've really played, other than Lemmings. If you're not playing Lemmings right now, what are you doing with your life? Right, I'm going to do the back end slightly different. I'm going to talk about the gym now, because it ties into what I'm going to talk about last. So, it's Monday today. Did I go to the gym yesterday? No, I did not. There's a reason for that. Did I go to the gym on Saturday? No, I did not. There's a reason for that. Did I go to the gym on Friday? Yes. Up to Friday, the only day I hadn't been to the gym was Tuesday because I was podcasting with Paul and James. Wouldn't have had the time. Needed a rest day. I'd been Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. No gym on Tuesday. Went to the gym Friday night. Me and Leanne had a conversation. I was like, I want to go to the gym. She was like, you can't go to the gym because of what's happening on Sunday. I'm like, I want to go. Oh, well, why don't you go and do weights rather than running? It's like, oh, that's not actually too bad an idea. So I went and I did some weights. For all of my, I'm just going to do light weights. I'm just going to do a little bit of weights. I'm not going to do too much. I've got to focus on the running. Yeah, that kind of fell away. So Saturday morning I got up, said to Leanne, I was like, I can't use my right arm. She's like, why not? I was like, it hurts. It's like I've bashed my elbow. It's very numb. It hurts a lot. She was like, what did you do in the gym last night? I was like, So, I did one set of barbell curls on a 10 kilo barbell. One set of 10. Followed that up with 5 sets of 10 on a 20 barbell. Then I did 3 sets of 12 pull down rope pull cable machine. Then I did 3 sets of 12 face pull on the rope on the cable machine. Then I did 1 set of 12 10 kilo dumbbell curls. 1 set of 12 12.5 kilos. 1 set of 12 15 kilos, all on the curls, on dumbbell curls. Then I did the curly bar, 3 sets of 12, 10 kilos. Then I did bench press. What was bench press? Did I just do 3 sets of 12? But I did like 25 kilos or something. Obviously, these are still light weights. This is nothing like what I used to be doing. I'm still getting back into doing this. So I'm a bit like, I don't want you to think I'm weak. This is me doing light weights. Bench press, curly bar. I did some kettlebell triceps or like pull-up things with a kettlebell. That was a 16 kilo kettlebell. A curly bar. I did curly bar cable machine. 3 sets of 12 on there. Incline chest press, dumbbell, 15 kilos. Did 1 set of 12. Thought I was fine. Did a second set of 12. Didn't quite manage it, so I did a set of 10. Dropped it down to 12.5, but then I couldn't even do that. So I only did that for 8. So I'm relaying all of this to Leanne Saturday morning. She's like, that's a massive amount of weights for somebody who said that they were just going to do a bit of light weights. I'm like, yeah. She's like, so I've got no sympathy for the fact that you can't move your arm. I'm like, cool. So that was the gym Friday night. Didn't go Saturday. There was a reason for that. Didn't go Sunday. There was a reason for that. I'm going to go tonight. Not sure what's going to happen. It's either going to be, I'm either going to explode into a million pieces, or what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. What doesn't kill you cures you, sort of thing. So, the thing that I'm teasing, I hear you saying, why didn't you go to the gym? Why didn't you go running? You said you were doing running. You said you were doing nothing but running. Well, there was a little thing going on in York on Sunday morning, which was the York 10K. So I've been hinting at this for a little while. I've said to a few people, I'm in training. And what I meant by that was I was training for the York 10K. So that's why I've taken up running. various different reasons. I've taken up running to try and lose some weight. I've been doing a lot of research. I think I'm doing it wrong, which I know going and running, you just go and run. But for the results I want, I need to swap all that round. This is all part of trying to make things better. But I'm doing it at the moment, so that's something. So I've been doing all this running, partially training for York 10K. I was going in Leanne's place. She had a place, I didn't. She gave me her place. Her mum was going. So I'm like, I'm running, I'm training, I'm running, I'm training, I'm running, I'm training. Then Leanne's mum drops the bombshell. She's going to do the York 10K, but she's going to walk it. I'm like, I was kind of going to run. Okay. So basically, the general feel is definitely not going to run it. I'm like, oh man. Next thing, Leanne's friend Zoe, oh, you guys are doing the 10K. Do you mind if I tag along with you if we're going to walk it? Okay, so we're definitely walking the 10K. Got to the point where I was like, you know something, I'm fine to do that. 10K is still 10K. I'll walk it with these guys. I've run it before. It was a few years ago. I have achieved that goal. So I'm kind of happy doing it this time. So yeah, Sunday morning, headed down to the Naesmire. Got in the queue kind of thing, got in the group, whatever, right at the back. We were literally the last people. And we set off. And we walked it. And we went off, and it's a lovely walk, a lovely run, whatever you want to say, round York. It's nice. Like I say, I've run it before, so I wasn't that bothered. Got to about 8K, and the feet started and the legs started, and also from 8K onwards, it's horrible. The people that organised that 10K, sadists, is all I'll say. I remember running it, and you get to a point where you run up a hill, and then you do like a loop and run back down. Downhill's great, love it. Then you go up another hill towards the finish. So I ran that, and I'm like, right, this is it. This is the finish. Oh my God, I can't believe I've actually done it. I've achieved it. This is fantastic. I don't need any energy left because it's just up to the top and turn right, and I'm at the finish line. So I'm going to give it my all getting up this hill. And I got up that hill, and I was like, why is everybody going left? And right at the end of that run, they make you go left down the stands at the York Racecourse. And I've never felt despair like it. I was like, oh my God, I don't think I can do it. Oh my God, I've come all this way. I've done what is essentially 10K at this point, and I've used everything. I used everything to get to this point. I've got nothing left. And as it was, I ran the last bit. It's like 400 metres or something. Longest 400 metres of my life. And then you run down and through the finish line. When I ran it, I did it in 1 hour and 6 minutes. Not the fastest time in the world, but I did it. And that was an achievement. And that was that. This time round, we walked it. I don't need to tell you what time we did it in, because that's not important. The important bit is we did it. Leanne came to meet us, and then she was like, right, okay, we'll go back to the car. Oh, cool, where's the car? Oh, I parked in my mum's. So after the 10K that we'd done, we then walked for 3 miles. I got cramp in my left calf, and I don't know what the hell's gone on there, but basically it feels like somebody's removed like an inch of muscle from my calf going into the back of my knee on my left leg, so I can't fully extend my leg. It's weird. But we did it. all three of us did it. We ran the last bit. I ran through to the announcer going, and here comes Leanne Davies. And I held my arms up and ran through the finish. So yeah, got a medal, got a t-shirt, things like that. But it's another 10k. And yes, I didn't run it. But yes, I did do it and I did complete it. And that's why I haven't been running in the gym for a few days. But I will be going to the gym, and no matter what this leg says, I will be running in the gym tonight. So yeah, that's hitting the gym, and that's the York 10k. So that's kind of been the week, really. The last thing I want to say is bumped into a good friend of mine, a lad I used to work with, lad called, we called him Dangerous Dave. I think a lot of people know somebody called Dangerous Dave. I think that's just a thing. Great lad, wonderful lad. Used to work with him where I work now. He left in one of the rounds of redundancies that we had a few years ago. And he has gone on to be a taxi driver. Anybody who lives in York or the York area, one of those things, I've asked him if he wants me to advertise him on the podcast, and I haven't had a response. So I'm a bit like, I'll either cut this off, or or you guys will hear this. So give Dangerous Dave a ring. I'll give you his number, 07854 079 858. That's 07854 079 858. Tell him you got the number from the podcast. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. He's a fan of the podcast himself. Fantastic to see him. He just pulled up alongside me when I was walking back from work this evening to the car. So we sat and we had a natter, talk about like how long it's been and families and stuff. Great to see him. Lovely lad. So yeah, if you need a taxi and you're in the York area, you got a night out, or you know people that are going to have a night out around York and stuff, he told me that he's done trips to London, to Leeds, to places like that, so it's not like he'll just do around York. Give Dave a shout. Again, 07854 079 858. Dangerous Dave, the taxi driver. So that's basically it. I haven't even finished my coffee. Rattle through that one. Potentially a quick one. Let's have a look. Let's have a little look before I end and just see how long have I been. Oh wow, it's about average. I didn't have a lot written down, although apparently I had enough to do a full podcast. Excuse me. There. Rather than rambling on, I'll let you go. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for keep coming back to the podcast. It means a lot to me. I will speak to you next week in some form or another, and I'm sure you'll be listening to another one of the Darkest Timeline podcasts very soon. Until then, I'll say bye, and I'll see you then. Bye. So there you go, what do you think of that? Another one in the bag, another week done, another week closer to whatever it is you're looking forward to. YouTube watchers, make sure you're YouTube subscribers, drop us comments, likes, shares, all the good stuff. Everybody jump over to thecookiecast.com, check us out over there, send us some social media love, emails, things like that. So there we go, that's another one done. And until next week, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then. Bye!